It was a beautiful night, great
Yes.
for people that were getting outside, and
Yeah.
I think we just saw in Edmond, the finale there. It could have turned out better.
I know, and I was kind of looking at, we have so many cameras from our Lucky Star Skycam network. I was looking at those, and there's just fireworks everywhere. And it's such a pretty sight to see. And some of those are kind of hard to see on some of the cameras. They're in the far distance. And yeah, you can definitely see them here and there, especially on our American Fidelity camera. From time to time, you can definitely see those downtown, and you can definitely see those on some of our other cameras as well. Let's go ahead and go to Lynx 1 and just kind of talk about those temperatures today. We did make it to 94 degrees. And yes, it was hot, but the normal's 92, so that's not far from it. The problem with today was dew points were well into the 70s, so it really felt more like the low 100s all afternoon. But we did make it. I think someone still got their mic hot, but upper 90s, low 100s in the northwest and also in parts of southwest Oklahoma. But just kind of looking at Storm Shield 9, we've got a front to the north in Kansas. You can see the rain and storms up there. Some severe storms currently as well. And this is all moving off to the south and east. But here's the thing. It's still going to take its time before it actually gets here. We did have a couple of isolated storms in northwest Oklahoma earlier today, but things are nice and quiet. The storms that are currently in Kansas, they will be moving into Oklahoma, but not until tomorrow morning. So in the meantime, things are nice and quiet, and still, again, seeing those fireworks from time to time. This is part of our Lucky Star Skycam network. 82 degrees, a south-southeast wind at 8 miles an hour, dew points in the low 70s, so it still feels more like 88 degrees. Certainly summer. Upper 70s to mid 80s across the north. We've got low to mid 80s in the southwest, lots of low to mid 70s in southeast Oklahoma with that southeast wind between about 10 to 15 miles an hour. So that's pretty much how it's going to stay overnight tonight. But again, there's where that front currently is, and eventually it will be making its way at least into northern Oklahoma during the day tomorrow, but making its way through the rest of the state as we get into tomorrow night and into Thursday. Looking at our futurecast and just kind of stopping it at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, a lot of the data is showing that, yes, there will be some storms to the north, but all in all, by early tomorrow morning, it's going to be very isolated whenever we do get to the north. But those chances will be picking up quite a bit later in the afternoon. In fact, these storms have the higher potential of becoming at least low and severe, producing some hail and some damaging wind gusts. I think there's still going to be a slight chance some of that does make it into the metro, but for the metro, the higher chances actually come tomorrow night and into Thursday morning with this next round of rain and storms dropping in out of Kansas. And again, that's going to push the cold front a little bit farther to the south. So for Thursday afternoon, I still think we at least have a chance of rain and storms, but more importantly, temperatures won't be nearly as hot. So for the rest of this evening, pretty much taking the rain chances out of here. Temperatures dropping down, kind of holding steady in the low 70s by tomorrow morning there for a while, but just a slight chance of rain and storms across the Kansas and Oklahoma border in the morning. And then during the day, it still looks hot. Temperature of 96 degrees in Oklahoma City, but 101 in Hobart, 100 degrees in Lawton, 101 in Altus, and some low to mid 90s in the northeast. So there's where that front is, and by tomorrow afternoon and evening, eventually it will be pushing a little bit farther to the south, but I think it's going to stay just north of I-40. So that's where those higher storm chances will be. But still a slight chance something does make it into Oklahoma City, but a low threat of severe storms. We are talking quarter-size hail, but damaging wind gusts, that would be the highest threat. And we could see potentially up to about 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts with any one storm that does become severe. Tomorrow night to Thursday morning, the cold front pushes a little bit farther to the south, and so therefore the higher storm chances also pushing a little bit farther to the south, but still the more likely chances across the north and east, but a 60% chance even here in Oklahoma City. And some of those storms also have the chance of producing some small hail and potentially some damaging wind gusts. Lots of lightning, lots of rain. The rain's always a good thing. By Thursday afternoon, certainly going to be a good thing because that will at least push temperatures back down to the 80s for some. Only a high of 80 degrees in Ponca City on Thursday, but the upper 70s out in Guymon, 81 in Woodward, 86 in Clinton. And the cold front, it's going to take a little while longer to reach the Red River, so still looking pretty warm down there with highs in the low to mid 90s. Thursday afternoon and evening, I think the farther along in the day that we go, it does become a little bit more dry, but we still have that moderate chance from the northwest down to the southeast. But the farther north and east you go, I think those chances will be just a little bit less during that time. Friday afternoon, still a slight chance of rain and storms, but I think better chances are that we stay dry, so it does look really warm. 92 degrees, 94 on Saturday, a slight chance of storms this weekend. Next week, it is trending drier, but that also means it's trending hotter.